Hey family, how you doing? I hope you are doing well. Those of you who are watching with me live and those of you that will watch via the replay, just in case you don't know who I am, my name is Kia Stevens and I am the author of Overcoming Father Wounds and the founder of Entrusted Women, which is a group that I created to equip Christian women communicators of color. And it wasn't always like that, y'all. I used to be an elementary school teacher, yes, for 15 years. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I got here, and then I'm going to talk about how to get speaking engagements, right? Because that's what we want to know. That's what I said I would be talking about today. And so I'm excited to share all the things with you. So let me just give you a synopsis about how I got here. So when I was a senior in high school in 1997, I guess I'm giving my age away, but in 1997, I believe God was calling me to write a book and to become a speaker. And I had absolutely no idea how that was going to happen. I literally thought I was going to get discovered. It don't happen like that. Well, sometimes it does, but anyways, that's not what happened. I ended up becoming a teacher for 15 years. And during that time, I was working on a book off and on, but I still didn't really know the pathway that a book takes to go from ideation to publication. Like, how does that happen? Who are the people that are involved? And so I stopped teaching 2016. And then after that, I came home to homeschool my kids. Wasn't that good at it. Shout out to the homeschool moms. And I started blogging and discovered some writing conferences and decided, okay, I'm going to go to these writing conferences. And that's when I saw a lack of minority representation in the publishing industry. And I felt like God was urging me to do something else, to start a community. And so I started this community. It's now called Entrusted Women. And from there, that's how I got a book deal. That's literally how I got introduced to my acquisition editor. I had relationships with agents, and I ended up getting an agent. Shout out to Javon and Bolden Media Group. And from there, I got a book deal and started speaking and marketing my book from there. So that's how I got here. And now I help women do what I have done and what I still continue to do. I do feel like if we are not in the room, if we're not at the conferences, if we're not taking the classes, then there is a gap in terms of the information that is understood in terms of how do you actually do this. And another thing that I want to say is that I didn't see anybody doing the type of speaking that I thought I would be doing. Quite honestly, I didn't even know what that speaking would look like. And so some of y'all remember this. You remember Juanita Bynum and No More Sheets. And shout out to Juanita Bynum if you ever see this. Hey girl, hey. That was a really good message. But she was the only speaker, one female speaker that I saw, in the Christian space. I grew up Southern Baptist, and I honestly don't remember seeing any female speaker except maybe on Women's Sunday, or I don't even know, y'all. Maybe a Sunday school teacher, maybe for the women's ministry, but and not that I was looking for somebody to be sitting in a pulpit. I didn't know. I just really did not know the wide varieties of possibilities in terms of if you feel like you're supposed to be out there speaking, where you can speak. And so I'm saying all that because maybe you feel the same way. Maybe you're like, I feel like I should be speaking, but I don't want to do it like that. And I don't want to do it like that, but I'm not really sure what I could be doing, what the possibilities are. Where can you speak? Where can you get speaking engagements? I got you. And the other thing that I want to say before, I'm going to give you guys a list of 8 speaking industries, and there are more than 8, but I'm going to give you 8. But The other thing that I want to say is that when I was an educator and I thought the doors will never open up for me to do the type of speaking that I want to do, in addition to I did want to teach, I did want to be a teacher. Um, I'm going to treat my elementary school classroom as a speaking engagement. And if I can um, keep their attention span, which is a lot, if I can be interesting and engaging and really be faithful in this place where I am, I believe that one day God will open up doors of opportunity for me. And he did. And he did. All right, so let's talk about some speaking industries. Okay, there's education, not necessarily in the classroom, but like educational conferences and things like that. There's empowerment, like women's empowerment. You can do this type of thing. There's those types of industries. There's wellness, if you're in the health space and you are helping people live better and have better lives, as it relates to their health, their diet, their exercise. There's those types of industries. They're corporations. And even with that, there's faith-based corporations, and then there's non-faith-based corporations. So some of us may find ourselves speaking in the corporate space. There are government agencies that you might find yourself speaking for. That's another industry, the government itself. And then there's business. If you just want to talk about business, talk about the marketing and the sales and profits and all these other things that go along with business. Then there's the business sector. That's another industry. And then there's faith-based, which is the industry that I felt called to, and now kind of sort of business too, a little bit, and writing and speaking. So anyways, it's like, what do you want to do? I don't know. There's a lot of things that I feel passionate that I could speak about. But those are some of the industries, and when you think about those industries, there's also different types of speaking that you can do in each of those industries. Because sometimes when we think about speaking, we're only thinking about the keynote. We're only thinking about the person that comes out on the stage in front of 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 people. And that's the only type of speaking that we want to do because that's all that we've seen. And we're in this little bitty box of like, I got to do it like that because that's what I saw and that's what I want to do. But there's tons of opportunities when it comes to speaking. If we just, get rid of the box and be willing to, embrace the possibilities in terms of like what speaking could look like for us. So I'm gonna give you guys a few. I already mentioned one, keynoting. So keynote, you get 45 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes to have the stage, to have the platform, and you are dictating what content is being shared. You're engaging the audience for the duration of the time. Then there's a breakout speaker. Breakout speaker, you likely will have 30 to 45 minutes too, but you might throw in a Q&A. And so you could have those in all those different speaking industries that I mentioned before. You could have breakout sessions, like breakout session for a faith-based conference, or breakout session for a wellness conference, or breakout session for a corporate conference, right? And with the breakouts and keynotes, you're probably going to have some sort of a pitch deck or a PowerPoint, a keynote presentation. Webinars and master classes, which I've done a ton of those. And the beauty of that is that you can do it from your house. What? Yes, you can be in your house doing a webinar or a masterclass on your topic of choice. So that's awesome and amazing. I think COVID bust the digital world wide open in terms of giving us some more options for speaking engagements. If you're doing a virtual conference or a virtual summit or a virtual retreat or a virtual masterclass or a virtual webinar, that is a speaking engagement, and it can be a lucrative one depending on which model you choose, and also a comfortable one, because you could have your pajama pants on, nice top, which I don't know if I got my pajama pants on right now. I don't. I don't. But I do not have pants that go with this top. All right. Okay, a trainer, like a trainer for a specific company. You could be a trainer, right? Where you're training them on the, I don't know, new model that's rolling out in your company, or you're training them on some new HR policy or blah, blah, blah. Trainer. Okay. MC, a master of ceremonies. The people that are introducing the people that are keynoting, or that are telling you, let me give you the housekeeping, or let me give you the rundown of this, this, and this. All of those are examples of speaking engagements. You may not be the keynote, but you could be the master of ceremonies. You know what? Someone told me that they did such a good job as the MC that they ended up getting a, no, maybe I wasn't, I don't know, y'all, if I was in a master class or what I was in when I heard this, but they did so good as the MC role that they ended up booking a speaking engagement. Like, there's an art and a skill to being an MC. And even one other MC that I watched who did it so masterfully and so skillfully, like, it's not just getting up there and introducing people, but it's being able to transition from one event or one portion of an event to the next. And so that requires studying, that requires practicing some jokes, practicing your storytelling, practicing just weaving it together. But this speaker that I saw do this, she also said things like, yeah, when I was at a previous speaking engagement, or when I was speaking at my church, or when I was doing blah, blah, blah. And she told me she strategically did that every single time she MC'd in order to let people know, hey, I don't just do MC gigs. I am a speaker and I'm available for hire. So anyways, I thought that was impressive. I was like, oh, drop that in my brain. Okay. And then the last one that I'm going to share with you is a panelist. Like, you can be on a panel of, say, 5 people. You could be an expert, and that is also a place that you have to be strategic, because by being on that panel, you could potentially get sell a product or a service. You could potentially book a speaking engagement just by how well you respond to the question on that panel. So I think we've kind of created this tier of, like, keynote is the pinnacle and the optimum thing that we can do. But there's lots of possibilities in terms of speaking engagements that could open the door to potential revenue, open the door to another opportunity, open the door to us doing what we ultimately really, really, really want to do, right? And some of you guys, if this has happened to you, if you can relate, put it in the comments. Drop it. Say, girl, I experienced that, or that happened to me. Just let me know. Okay, I'm over here looking at the comments. All right. And then now let's talk about 5 ways that you can get speaking engagements. And speaking engagements is always kind of like a mystery. Sometimes, I mean, when you're on the outside looking in, it's like, how did they get that? How did they get that? Let me say, I'm going to tell you 5 practical ways that you can get speaking engagements. But I'm also going to say, because I talk to Christian women, I'm also going to say that God's timing, you can't usurp it. Like, if you think you go, like, weasel your way or go around it, and he'd put up a detour or a roadblock, or the door is closed, the window is closed, it's barricaded, and you can't get through, it's going to stay barricaded. It's going to stay barricaded. So the things that I'm giving you, like, you could do all these things and the door's still not open, because God has a perfect timing. So I just want to say that as an overarching, like, yeah, but so anyways, you can pitch. And so pitching is like a numbers game. If you pitch 1,000 people, you're likely to get somebody in that thousand. I'm not saying pitch 1,000, but pitch 100, you know. But if you pitch two, you know, you got a 50-50 toss up. Both of them could say no. So it's really a numbers game, like the volume, the success is in the skill of how you pitch, and who you pitch to, and if there's some a symbiotic relationship between what you're speaking about and what the audience needs and meeting their pain point, and boom, you pitch at the right time, the right season, and bam. You know, so there is some skill and timing that is involved with pitching. Apply. You can apply to pitch. There's all of these call for presenters. I used to do a lot of these when I was in the classroom, in the elementary school classroom. There were so many education conferences that were doing call for presenters. And so I would just apply, because you never know when you're going to find yourself in a space that would, one, accept you as a speaker, and then that opens the door to a new opportunity. And then you're also building your resume, your speaker resume, so that you can say, oh, I spoke at that conference, I spoke at that one, I spoke at that one, I spoke at that one, right? So there's apply. Then there's also host. Yes. Host is, you have the most control, but you also have the most stress. Because you gotta get butts and seats in order to cover your overhead if you are doing this at a facility that you rented and you gotta pay them, right? Okay. So, but you get the control. You get to say what you speak about, how long you speak, who you speak to, how much they charge, how much you charge them to come. So it can go well, but it can go bad. It can go bad too if you don't have anybody to come to your event. And then keep in mind, I mentioned webinars and master classes. So, you know, that is also an event. I'm going to tell you about a masterclass before we get off of this time. But that is also another type of, or another way to host an event online. And here's the next one. I've never really done this. I've done it in a roundabout way, but I found out about it from attending another class. And apparently you can pay to play. So there are speaking engagements that you might want to be a part of, and they're going to charge you a fee in order to be able to be the MC or be a panelist or be a breakout person. I hear you through the computer, and you're like, I ain't paying nobody. I'm trying to get paid. I understand that. But the rationale that was given during this class that I attended was that you might pay to play because there's a headliner that has a big name or notoriety or whatnot. And then that will up your game, because you could say, I spoke at such and such event where such and such was there. I don't know how everybody feels about that, but that's what the person said in the class. And then also the other thing is that if you're in that space, and let's say they have a huge attendance and you have a service or a product to offer, then that the likelihood that you might be able to sell your service or your product to that audience is also a plus. And so that was the rationale. Sometimes, you know, and sometimes getting into spaces like that will open the door for another speaking opportunity. But, you know, sometimes it's about getting in the room and how you choose to get in the room. But still, keep in mind that God is like sovereign. He'll shut it all down. If he don't want you in that space, you won't be in it. Okay, and then this is the last one, be asked. A lot of times, people who are already visible, who already have a platform, are going to be asked. often. And that's could be why we see some of the same types of people or same people at the events. Because if you think about the host is trying to put butts in seats so that they can be in the what? The black and not the red. Because hosting an event is risky. It's risky. If everybody doesn't come, then you're going to be out of XYZ dollars. And it could be thousands upon thousands of dollars. And so you're going to get the people that are popular. Because I've heard this argument. I've even used this argument. I don't use it as much since I started hosting events. I don't use it as much because I understand like all of the financial details that are involved, and the risk that you're taking, the financial risk that you're taking. But the argument is, I see the same people. It's not fair. The same people, they need to open the door. Well, I understand that, but it could be that we need to be faithful where we are with what we have and build up what we have, and so that we will be asked more. That could be a possibility. I know there's other things involved, but I'm going to talk about those today. All right, so look, y'all, I have given you some nuggets today. I gave you 8 speaking industries. I gave you 6 types of speaking opportunities. And then I peeled back the layers and told you how people are really out here getting speaking engagements. Look, if we're not the people that are being asked, then we're going to have to put some skin in the game. We're going to have to go to work. We're going to have to pitch. We're going to have to apply. We're going to have to host. We're going to have to do all of these things. If we believe that we are called to speak to whatever industry, government, faith-based, women's empowerment, wellness, corporations, yada, 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 we're going to have to work. The opportunities are not going to fall out the sky. We are not going to get discovered unless we happen to go viral on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook, which would mean we need to be doing something on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, right? All right, so I want to talk to you about a next step. If you're like, oh, she really opened my eyes, and that's some information I didn't know, or that was good, or I appreciate that, or tell me more. If you are in the tell me more place and you're like, how can I get more information about this? I'm so glad you asked. I am going to be having a Get Booked Christian Speaker Masterclass. I told you about that. You can host masterclass and webinars. I'm going to have this on March the 12th at 8 p.m. And so if you are interested, I want you to sign up, and I'm going to make sure and include the link. But let me tell you real quickly what I'm going to be talking about in that masterclass. I'm going to share with you my 4-part signature system for booking speaking engagements. It's mine. I created it. So you can't get it no place else because I made it up, right? 10 ways to get paid speaking engagements. I'm going to talk about that. I gave you 5 today, but even in what I shared, those all may not be paid, okay? And then I'm going to talk about 5 non-negotiable components of a speaking page and 4 characteristics of a signature talk, okay? So let me give it to you again. My 4-part signature system for booking speaking engagements, 10 ways to get paid speaking engagements, 5 non-negotiable components of a speaking page, and 4 characteristics of a signature talk. And so if that is you and you're interested, definitely click the link in the description section, wherever you're seeing this video. I'm going to put it on Instagram, on YouTube, and on Facebook. Wherever you see it on Facebook, just click and it's going to take you to the landing page and tell you what to do from there. Let me just say, it's $7. This right here was free, okay? And I gave you good value and good content. But when you come to the masterclass, that's not for free. But it's only $7. Come on now. That's a little bit more than a tall chai tea latte at Starbucks, if that's your jam. It is mine. Okay, that's just a little bit more. So I want to see you. If you're saying, I want to go further, this is the year that I'm going to dive deeper into my desire to speak. You know, you got the talent, you know, you have the skill, but you're like, what do I do next? I want you to come over to the master class and sign up so that you can get the goodies that I'm going to be sharing over there. Okay, y'all, it's been awesome and amazing. Let me to hang out with you. Let me also say, if you want to know more about Entrusted Women, if you're just discovering this, head on over to www.entrustedwomen.com and you can learn about all the things. You can find out more details about my journey with this ministry business and also some of the additional products that I offer. So you guys have been amazing. Quiet but amazing. Hey sis, hey, drop your name in the chat. If you're just coming in, I don't know if I can get you to do it. It's not that many on live with us, but I'd love to hear from you if you are there and hear if you have any comments. Um, so let me be patient and let me come over here to Miko. I don't know where that music is coming from. Okay. All right, y'all. Well, I'll see you online. Be sure to check out the link wherever you see this video. Take care.